They're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You know, maybe they should see a doctor about those tails. It's Sunday Brunch with Jamie West and Tracy Lynn on AM 900 CHML.
Thanks for staying with Sunday Brunch. I was going to say thanks for being here. Thanks for staying here is more like it. We do appreciate that. Second hour of the program well underway here. Jamie and Tracy and Mungo Jerry. And it's time for the Just Ask Bob Show radio edition with Bob Asadorian from Triple R Renovations and the Just Ask Bob Show on Cable 14. Good Sunday morning to you, Bob.
Hey, good Sunday morning to you, too. How are you, Jamie and Tracy?
I think I'm okay. How about you?
I'm doing great.
I think
awesome.
Yeah.
And hello, Hamilton.
We're all doing well. Unless you're one of the people that's trying to figure out what happened at the stadium this week. You know, our topic this week is structural renos and repairs, and how timely, Bobby.
Very, very timely. You can certainly get clonked in the head, whether it's a falling speaker or a falling living room wall.
Isn't that unbelievable, that story? Just before we dive deeply into your topic, just your take on what happened with the stadium. I know there's a lot of unanswered questions, but what were your thoughts?
Well, firstly, I'm very happy what the city's doing. They're bringing in engineers, and we'll talk a lot about engineers during our show today here. But you have to have an engineer brought in, look at all those speakers, diagnose everything, because it appears, maybe some corners were cut. Again, without checking in and looking at everything, it's not fair to point the finger yet. But obviously, for public safety, the city's doing the right thing. Bring in the engineer, have him look over probably anything in that building that can fall and hurt somebody. Any attachments, anything attached to the physical building.
Details. I thought about you right away when I heard the story, and I thought, this is the thing. Mm-hmm. Mistakes can happen, but as you pointed out many times, man, you should be double and triple checking. Mistakes like that shouldn't be happening. So let's dive into our topic: structural renovations and repairs. This is a big deal.
Well, it is, and I'll start off because this is fresh in my mind. Right now, literally at the moment, we're working on a structural job. It's a 60-year-old home in East Hamilton. A carport was originally attached as part of the original home. So this is not by any means a carport that was thrown up quickly over a weekend after the home was built. I have the designs for the original home. The City of Hamilton gave them to me. I submitted them to my engineer. It was a great help to him because he could now design to fix the carport in relation to seeing how it was originally tied into the home. Now, I went in several weeks ago and did some test digs. When you stand at the side and look at the carport, guys, it's literally sinking. It's sagging right in the middle.
Okay.
There's 4 vertical posts holding it up. Now, according to the designs that were submitted to the city way back 60 years ago, the footings go 4 feet deep in the ground, the concrete itself. Now, I physically dug it up with my guys, and we found that all 4 piers that supported the wood columns were down 1.5 to 2 feet.
Oh, wow.
Now,
okay.
Wow, somebody missed this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Honestly, this was seriously missed by the builder, by his subtrades, and by the municipality some 60 years ago. Now, to correct this, we definitely need an engineer because the city's very careful on this. My specific license, and any general contractor in town that has it, the City of Hamilton Master Building Repair, big restriction on there, structure. I cannot design the repair structure. It has to be done by an engineer or a firm with a BCIN number. So, of course, I have an engineer on standby that works with me on these jobs. He's made drawings. I've submitted them to the city. But about the check and double check now, not all engineers do this, but for liability reasons, my engineer insists that at certain critical intervals, he comes in, he inspects, and then the City of Hamilton sends in an inspector to inspect. So, guys, these are the most difficult jobs I do because every critical stage is double checked.
Now, that's interesting because a lot of people are going to get hosed on that, right? Because somebody's going to come along and they're going to say, I can handle all of that, and me, the unsuspecting homeowner, is going to believe them.
I hope and pray homeowners listen to this show or watch me on television when I try to explain these things. You can get into a lot of trouble with structure and with electrical when things aren't permitted and things aren't done properly. There's an awful lot of contractors in Hamilton, even the legit ones, it's sad to say, but especially the 85% that are unlicensed. They like to take these repairs on as a quick weekend project.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pull up in their own vehicle, no logos, no lawn sign, during the weekend, late in the evening when people aren't watching or inspectors aren't driving by, and they'll do it fast. I mean fast. they'll take the people's money even quicker, and somebody can be injured or killed on such a job, homeowner or people sitting under a carport or a two-story balcony or anything where there's the situation where you may have a structural collapse.
And I've heard people say, don't worry, you don't need the permit. We can just do this.
Oh, all the time. I've been doing structural work now since 2008, and the majority of people that call me, they've had about 7, 8 other people come in before myself, or they've talked to people on the phone, and it's everything. We don't need a permit. No, we don't need an engineer. We specialize. We know what we're doing. The only attractive point to this is the cost. I mean, we're talking about 60 to 70% cheaper for the guy to do it without the engineer and without the permit. So, again, troubled economic times. I'm always tooting that statement. Troubled economic times, when push comes to shove and people only have X amount of dollars, A, in their bank account, or B, accessible on their line of credit, it's very, very tempting to go cheap. Don't do it with structure.
Okay, it makes sense. Where are some of the other serious structural pitfalls, Bob, that people can get into, the things, you mentioned electrical, but what are some of the other areas that you need to pay particular attention to when you're setting out to do a renovation?
Well, let's talk structure. One of the most common ones, the most common phone calls or email I get is a design issue. People want to remove the load-bearing wall between a kitchen or its adjacent dining room or living room. Blow out the kitchen, make it bigger. A lot of old Hamilton homes, the kitchens are tiny.
Yes.
It's an item where, the homeowner, maybe with a couple of beers, have his friends over. Maybe the beer's not a good idea, but,
Right.
Get a gathering going on and just pull the wall down, but they're not thinking. You have to build and construct. Let's assume this is a main floor. You have to build and construct a temporary wall to the right and to the left, 3 feet apart, on the main floor, and you have to do the same thing in the basement because you got to carry the weight load down to the basement. Then once everything's shored and supported, you can go ahead and take out the wall. A lot of homeowners don't understand this, and a lot of contractors don't understand it, that's what the municipality comes in to inspect, and especially the engineer. So a big important one is that dining room and living room opening up into the kitchen. There's temporary shoring. Other items are sinking, as the one I'm working on now, sinking footings or inadequate footings or columns and piers on carports or on just about anything. You could have broken floor joists or damaged floor joists. Another really popular one is plumbers. They really seem to like hacking joists when they're running the plumbing.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I've come along a lot of these jobs where I'll take out the ceiling because there's a droop in the ceiling. And it's that bathroom on the second floor. Someone's remodeled it because typically that wasn't done by the builder. They would do things properly back in the day. They'll cut out the joist, and they basically leave. Picture this now, a nice meaty wood joist that's supporting your your toilet. It's supporting all the weight of a bathtub full of water with you, the occupant, in the tub. So that's a lot of weight there. So they've cut through the joist to run a big 3-inch ABS pipe, and they've left a sliver of the joist above and below the cut.
Right. Now you've got a serious problem there with integrity.
Always, and it always happens to be also the people have just bought the home. See, they buy the home, they notice the cracks on the ceilings, they'll carve them out, they'll putty them, and they'll email me and say, Bob, it usually starts with a drywall or a plaster question. How do I properly mud or repair this reoccurring crack? So I'll go over the parameters with them. They'll follow up with me in a few months and say, we followed, your parameters, we've repaired it, but the crack's reopening or it's bulging. I'll go over and look at it and realize it's because of deflection. When you're bathing or when the tub's under load or stress, the joist moves because the integrity's gone. So what started out as a possibly cosmetic issue, then we got to go in and gut the ceiling and see what we find.
And, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, tampered structure in every case.
Wow. And people don't stop to think about this stuff.
We're paying people to destroy our homes.
Well, Bobby's been saying that for years, right? People are coming in and you're getting your home destroyed, thinking you're improving it, but you're actually hurting it in some cases.
So does the
statement... I don't want to scare everybody with the permits. There are exceptions. See, this is structural work is very time-consuming, very expensive, that almost always requires a permit. There are exceptions, which is literally called sistering. So let's say you've got a cracked or damaged joist in the basement or on the main floor. If you leave the original joist where it is, and you, the homeowner, or your contractor, sister a brace or a splice to the existing joist, end to end, use glues and screw, you do not require a permit. However, if you take out the joist to replace it, you do require a permit. So assisting to the damaged component or otherwise making it better, shoring it up, does not require a city permit unless you take out the joist. That's important because that's a gray area.
All right, Bobby, how do people get a hold of you if they'd like to chat with you about some of these issues?
I'm the most accessible contractor to get a hold of, www.justaskbob.com, or simply pick up the phone, 289-649-0196. And a shout-out now to our sponsor, our favorite electrician, John Tenbrink of JMT Electrical, the most honest and respected in the business. Please call on him for all your home and commercial needs. You can find him on our website. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Bobby. We'll talk to you next week. Take care.
And thank you, Hamilton. Till next time.
All right, there you go. It's the Just Ask Bob Show radio edition for this week, and still lots to come on this edition of Sunday Brunch on AM 900 CHML.